how do we mix up existing payouts. So let's just cover that quickly, probably only the first subpart. The second subpart here, which was include single strategies, I've actually showed it to you here, so you can just use what I've showed you. Let's go to the first one, the average out of existing payouts. So what we've covered so far, just as a summary, is how we generate a minimum balance weight for a portfolio, and we've also covered how we generate equal risk contribution for a portfolio. So why not try and put all the chances on our side, in terms of generalization. I'm not too sure if out of sample, so outside from the backtest, the minimum variance portfolio will be the most efficient, or if it's going to be the equal risk contribution. Why not average the two of them in order to find probably a more stable, to ensemble the two portfolios and find something maybe more stable over the long run. So what I've done here, I've created an average portfolio payout function, which is just taking the returns and applying in terms a minimum variance weight payout, and then an equal risk contribution weight payout. And then I will combine the two of them together. So this line 104 is just getting me this minimum bar weight. 105 is giving me the equal risk weight, so it's similarly to what we've seen so far. And then for combining, as I said before, C-bind, so column binding, is a very handy way to basically put together two different time series. Here I am not sure that the dates are perfectly aligned. They should be aligned because it's the same input and the same underlying assets. However, it might be the case that it's not the case. So we will be on the safe side and use C-bind. C-bind is going to use the dates of these two time series and put them together and fill with NAs when there is a need. And then what we're going to do is just have an average of these two weights. I've already divided by 2 here, and so it's just about summing together. So here is the minimum variance weight, here is the ERC weight, and I'm just having the average of the two and returning the allocation. So let's see what we get from that. So for now, let's just run it with one payout. But as I said earlier on, it's probably a good habit to always use the minimum rebalancing frequency function in order to optimize a bit more our payouts. And then we will put it in an average portfolio and see what it gives us. So it's in turn calling these two payouts, so it's going to be slightly longer than the ones before to generate. I'm not sure that we will generate it many times, but let's take a look at what's happening here. I've chosen to do it on monthly, but you can, like before, switch it to daily. And when you switch to daily, it's going to be more appropriate with the minimum rebalancing frequency, because this function will do all the heavy lifting of telling you exactly when you need to rebalance. Whereas here, beforehand, I had chosen a wrong frequency. Let's see. This is still computing. As I said, it's a lot of operations. Here it's finished, and we can just run the backtest. So, way to check quickly the period in or out. That's a question from a participant. And if you want to check it very quickly, you have to I'm going to come back to you to your question, Greg, in 1 second. Just let me finish with these outputs, because then I can come back to the previous one. So here what we have done is combine minimum variance and equal risk variance, equal risk portfolio in one single asset. This is the output we get. Obviously, returns are not that high, but it's combining the two portfolio. We have a pretty okay drawdown, and then the Sharpe ratio is 0.9, so it's in line with the two, basically the two pre-made portfolios that we have tested. So this might ensure stability out of sample in unseen data, as we are doing some averaging of the two set of weights. So that's one way that you can combine existing payouts. As we just covered, thanks to Kyung's question, you can also combine payouts by using single strategies and then using pre-made payouts, optimizing the rebalancing, and then you have already something a bit more complex. So I encourage you to use these two approaches, either to have single strategies and use these payouts, or to combine portfolio payouts in your payout function and maybe have more manipulation in order to make your strategy a bit more complex and a bit more like you want it to be. Keep in mind that it's like a tree. So the number of combinations here are exponential. You can have one payout for one strategy, but another payout for another strategy, and another payout for a third strategy, and then have one payout at portfolio level, or have two payouts at portfolio level. So you can actually combine things and mix them up in a very, very flexible way and try different combinations. So even if you're only using payouts that are already defined on the platform, there is a way to do something quite complex and to have very original or very unique mixing of existing things. It's interesting to try and mix them up and have different combinations for that. Now let me come back to your question, Greg. How can we check quickly if we're in the market or out the market? One of the quick ways I would have is to, if I just go back to the previous one, to look at the graph. Here you see you're not in the market for quite a long time. Okay, and here you're not in the market. Here you're not in the market. So if we're looking at, it looks like on this US high yield we haven't applied any payouts, just raw building blocks. We can see that if you want to be out the market here, okay, the period being out of the market is really short. It's like probably 2-3 months. Here it's slightly longer, but that's just a one. So I'm not too sure that you should generalize too much about this. So really, you see it drops fairly quickly and then recovers quite quickly. So it's famous V shape here. So the best way is to check the flat lines, and you see that this line is pretty long. This line is also pretty long. So there's probably something to be done here in understanding why we are out the market so much, and how to probably, if you want to be out the market, that's perfectly fine. If you want to save you from taking the drawdown and from taking some losses, but how do you optimize the fact to come back to the market as quickly as possible, so that you're not out the market when you don't need to be out the market, basically. So maybe you can explore different ways. Maybe there is a limit in time where you want to be out the market. Maybe you don't want to be out the market for more than 20 business days, because historically it's never been the case that you should be out longer than that. I don't know. That's just a hint. try different things and see what you can try out. So I think we've covered quite a lot today. Many different things, even though there was not any active coding during the webinar. There was still a lot of content in terms of payouts that are available. How do you pipe them to make your rebalancings more efficient? How you can either mix them, existing payouts within one portfolio, or you can have single strategies and mix them with already existing payout functions to make the most of what is available to you. I think that's all for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this webinar. I hope that it cleared up a lot of questions you may have. I hope that it gave you also ideas about what to explore, how to improve your strategies, your payouts, and we'll be happy to follow up with you in discussions on Alpha Chat or in the forum if need be, so that we can push on this competition and have the best possible solutions and portfolios that we can. I wish you best of luck for the rest of the competition, and don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Thank you again for participating today, and have a good day.